Good morning. I am Sonia Tinsley Hook. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. I'm your music leader this morning, and this is a rare Sunday where Reverend Strauss, Don, and Travis are all out. Have no fear, though. We are lucky to have Margaret Williams at the piano this morning. Yes, indeed. And we are also very lucky. That was a new word. Lucky to have Reverend Megan Joyner in the pulpit with us. So our first hymn this morning is number 6 in the gray hymnal, but the words are up on the screen. Just as long as I have breath, please rise in body or in spirit. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love. Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, a beloved community that changes lives. I'm Jackie Spearman, a UUCA lay minister, and I am so glad to be with you this morning, and I am glad that you are here. Wherever you are from, whomever you love, and whatever path you are on, you are welcome here. If this is your first time, or if you've not yet had a chance, please stop by our Welcome Center in the social hall after the service to allow us to get to know you a little better. You can sign up to receive information about services and programs being presented over the next several weeks. All visitors and guests are invited to attend the weekly Inquirers class at 12:30 in room 1, just off the sanctuary. This week, Ooh. Let's try that again. This week, the Inquirers will be discussing UU history, 7 principles and 6 sources. I hope you'll plan to take advantage of this or one of the other religious education programs listed in today's order of service. Do you have gently used books, that your children or grandchildren or you have outgrown and no longer read. You can now give them new life by donating them to the Fiesta de Libros. Simply put them in our new book collection bin in the social hall. Fiesta de Libros is the free lending library that provides books for immigrant children from toddler through high school. For more on what they do, please check out the website, www.fiestadelibros.com. Thank you. As Sonia mentioned, we are delighted to have Reverend Megan Lloyd Joyner back in our pulpit this morning. Reverend Joyner is the Compassion-Centered Spiritual Health Fellow at Winship Cancer Institute, Clifton Road campus. She is a Unitarian Universalist minister with a BA in Religious Studies from Wesleyan University, Middletown, Connecticut, and a Master's of Divinity from Union Theological Seminary, New York City. She served as a parish minister for 8 years in Connecticut congregations, most recently at the Unitarian Society of New Haven, before moving to Atlanta with her husband and daughter in the summer of 2019. And now, please be sure to take this moment to put your cell phone in its most reverent position. We appreciate it. Once again, we're glad you're here with us this morning. And now, we will begin by lighting our chalice. Please say the chalice lighting words with me. They're on the screen or in your order of service. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of speaking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
Good morning. What a pleasure it is to be with you all this morning. I'd like to invite any children or those young at heart who'd like to get a little closer for our story. The children's choir is on it. I'm going to need a little help with the story this morning, and I think I have some helpers. I have a lead helper. This is my daughter, Arden, who loves this story and is going to guide us in the parts that are yours. Okay? So this story is called, come on, yeah, you're welcome, called The Yes by Sarah B. And it goes like this. In a soft, comfy nest, in a safe, warm place, there snoozed a great, big, orange thing called the Yes. He was snug, but the Yes had a where to go, so he left his nest and went trundling out to sea. You can see the orange Yes right up there on the screen. The where was an endless place of no's. The no's were everywhere and every what, in swarms and flocks and packs. They teemed and seethed, they picked and nipped and snipped and snicked. You can see the nose behind the yes. Can we all practice being the nose? Do you think we can do that? Can we? And let's be the nose. No, 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 no. Oh, it's so good. So good. The no's were so many and so very that you could see nothing but nose. They made all the here and all the else a no-ness and a not-ness. The yes came to a tree. The tree was tall. It had fruit. The yes was hungry. The yes looked up the tree and said to himself, yes? Was the tree too tall to climb? The yes was big and lumpin'. The no's swarmed around the yes in a thick cloud of no and said all the no's there ever were. Are you ready? When I point at you, you say no, and Arden's going to lead us. She's really good at this. The no's said, no! Too tall. The no's said, no! Too silly. The nose said,
No!
You'll fall.
No!
The nose sat on the yes and stood on his head and pulled his ears and tugged at his tail, and they made such a huge no that you could hear it from the sky and feel it in the ground. But the no's were small, and the yes was large. The no's were not a thing, and the yes was a great big thing. The yes looked and climbed the tree. Yes! The yes lumbered on into the where and crossed a bridge in spite of the nose.
No!
The yes wandered on and swam across a river in spite of the nose.
No!
The yes bumbled on and made his way through a dark, scary wood, even though all the while, all the no's were shouting.
No!
And then the yes came to a big rolling hill. The no's did the loudest and knowingest no that they could do.
No!
But the no's, all the no's, in all the where, all put together, were only a no in the end. A no made of dust and nothing that wasn't ever really there at all. The yes went up and up and up the hill until the noise of the no's and their no-ness and their not-news grew smaller and smaller and fainter until there was no more no and never had been. There was only the yes. Can you say it with me? And with the yes at the top of the hill, we'll say yes on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Thank you for helping me with our story. Oh, it's still. We were so lucky to find him.
And this is the children's choir. And we are going to sing 2 songs for y'all today. The first is Blue Boat Home, which they actually picked. And the second will be Sanctuary. Please feel free to join us in Sanctuary on the 3rd time through. And I'll turn around and play this.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep. I've been sailing all
Thank you, Children's Choir. Thank you, Chelsea. Our children and youth will head to their RE classes, and we will greet each other warmly with a handshake or a hug or an elbow bump or whatever feels comfortable to you this morning.
Humanism is the belief that human love is a power for transcending the relentless onward rush of our largely deterministic cosmos. Bet Chambers, former president of the American Humanist Association. Humanism is the belief that human love is a power for transcending the relentless onward rush of our largely deterministic cosmos.
Humanism is informed by science, inspired by art, and motivated by compassion. The Humanist Magazine. Humanism is informed by science, inspired by art, and motivated by compassion.
Humanism is simply the radical belief that all human life is valuable and has worth. Anonymous. Humanism is simply the radical belief that all human life is valuable and has worth.
In this life, I search to be completely human, to feel, to give, to take, to laugh, to get lost, to be found, to dance, to love, and to lust, to be so human. C. Joy Bell C. In this life, I search to be completely human, to feel, to give, to take, to laugh, to get lost, to be found, to dance, to love, and to lust, to be so human.
The reading this morning comes from my colleague, the Reverend Martha Valentin. The golden present is not like the proverbial egg that expects you to sit on it and wait. It is instead a scrumptious feast to be served when you call. Look around. It awaits a response from you, one that says, yes, I see you. Yes, I choose you. Yes. The golden present ever reaches for you and wonders if you'll come to unwrap its gifts. So ends the reading.
Our music for meditation this morning is number 18 in the gray hymnal, What Wondrous Love. The words are also on the screen.
Let us put hands on hearts. Feel the warm connection. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. At this time, we hear the joys and sorrows of this congregation. Please hold Lauren Deach and Deborah Freer with love and healing thoughts in your hearts. Lauren's father, Jack Albanese, passed away unexpectedly this past Monday morning. Jack was surrounded by loving family and will be greatly missed. Your cards are welcome. This morning's flowers are given by Pat Harris in celebration of the life of Shay Bro, who died suddenly last week. He was a friend of this congregation, sang in the choir, and was active in the TBD social group. And he will be missed. You are invited to say the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning. Speak their names into this holy space now. As humans have gathered for millennia, so we gather on this day to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected. Now we still our bodies and we still our minds. We take in a big breath and then we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence.
Here at the UU Congregation of Atlanta, we have covenanted to walk together, and we are. We are walking and walking and walking. We know where we are going, but we don't know exactly when we will get there. The journey we are on feels like a long one, but the journey we are on, we are walking with the yes. On this journey, a part of the gift we need to give to each other is caring and support. And through this, what we receive to share with each other is faith. The contributions we make to UUCA through our pledges and the donations we place in the collection basket make it possible for the walk and the hope to continue. We don't know when we will get there, but we know we will. To support the mission and ministries of UUCA, the morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
I can change the world with my own two hands, make it a better place with my own two hands, make it a kinder place with my own two hands, with my own two hands.
I can make peace on earth with my own two hands. I can clean up the earth with my own two hands. I can reach out to you with my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands. Gonna make it a brighter place with my own two hands. Gonna make it a safer place with my own two hands. Gonna help the human race with my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands.
I can hold you with my own two hands.
I can comfort you with my own two hands. But you have to use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. With our own two hands. With our own two hands. With my own two hands.
Thank you to the Love Supreme. Whoa. Exclamation point. With our hands and with our love, let us use these generous gifts to create a kinder, gentler, better world. May they go far and change many lives.
And now please join me in the dedication of the offering, the words for which can be found on our screens. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings.
Let's time travel, shall we? I invite you to travel with me back to the year 2008. Now, a lot happened that year, some of which we might prefer not to revisit. But I want to take us back to the summer, to June 2008, the Unitarian Universalist Association's annual meeting, our General Assembly, where thousands of Unitarian Universalists from around the country and around the world gathered in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The event on the evening in question was a performance of composer Jason Shelton and lyricist Kendall Gibbons' Sources cantata, which is a 7-movement piece of music celebrating the sources of our living tradition and the threads that bind them together. Whew, I loved the music. I loved the words. I was loving the whole thing. And then we arrived at the 5th movement, entitled No Other World. It was dedicated to our fifth source, humanist teachings. The lights dimmed in the huge hall, the screen filled with images of space, stars and galaxies, stardust and planets, and I was so excited to see what would come from the choir and the musicians to match the beautiful, majestic images on the screen. But as I began preparing for this sermon, over a decade later, all I remembered was the word no. In my recollection, the piece of music consisted of the choir shouting, "No, no, no." So this past month, I went back to listen to it again. You can find the recordings on YouTube. And not surprisingly, I discovered that in reality, the words are much more complex than no, no, no. The music is stunningly beautiful. It begins with a single solo voice. I would live simply, bravely, and nobly. Okay, I thought back in 2008, hearing it for the first time, I'm on board with that. You see, I'm a good Unitarian Universalist, always analyzing the lyrics to see if I can agree with them. I've finally stopped looking ahead at the words while we're singing hymns, but as a teenage UU who happened to be attending Catholic high school, I used to do just that. A militant atheist, whenever the word God appeared, I would literally put down my hymnal and refuse to sing. I was frustrated, confused, and angry. I was frustrated with what I was being taught at my UU congregation and my Catholic high school. I was confused by how they could be so different. I was angry because I desperately wanted to believe, but simply did not. But living simply, bravely, and nobly, give me that any day. The music swelled and the chorus began. The time is now. The place is here. The good we know. The earth we share. This day we have. This love we give. Yes, I thought. Yes, this is the crux of our faith. This is the joy and the beauty of our humanist heritage. What a celebration. The chorus continued and my heart sank because here were the no's. No other truth. No other joy, the choir sings fiercely. No other life, no other world. And I thought, if this is our statement, what is the difference between Unitarian Universalists and religious fundamentalists who proclaim that their truth, their way, is the truth, the way? How is it constructive to deny and dismiss the beliefs that so many hold dear so as to proclaim our certainty? You see, I was in seminary in 2008, and I was building a new way for myself, one that was moving from anger to acceptance, from frustration to surrender, from confusion to mystery. I had let go of my militarism, if not my atheism yet, and I found myself curious instead, open to life and love and the potential for an even greater love that surrounds us all. I didn't have any designs on anyone joining me in my newfound delight in transcendence, but I did hope that my faith tradition might move from rejection to affirmation, as I had. So no other truth, no other joy, no other life, no other world felt, well, altogether pretty negative. I was looking for yes. I am still looking for yes. And I don't think I am alone. I believe that 21st century religion must approach the world with affirmation of the life that we human beings share with each other, with the other beings of this planet, with the earth as a whole, our blue boat home. And I believe that Unitarian Universalism can only be a faith for our time, for this tumultuous, scary time, if we let go of our impulse to proclaim what we do not believe and instead lean into what we do, that all people have worth and dignity, that all are deserving of compassion, that our planet requires our care and commitment, that true justice is for all. We can and we must counter the negativity and fear of our day with a resounding yes. So today I want to share with you what I have learned about this yes from my work at Winship Cancer Institute as an interfaith chaplain. And so I invite us now to continue the work of this past month's sermon series on humanism, as we look at the foundations humanism provides for care and compassion for our fellow human beings, for curiosity and openness, for social reform and changing the world 2 hands at a time. On the wall of the stairwell between the first floor lobby and the infusion center at Winship's Clifton Road campus is a quote. One of the essential qualities of the clinician is interest in humanity, for the secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient. On my first day of work this past September, I took a picture of that quote on the wall. This is that picture. And I sent it to my brother Evan, who is a third-year resident in neurosurgery in New York City. Patient care is my brother's passion, and for him, while it is brain surgery, it's not rocket science. For Evan as a doctor and for me as a chaplain, the secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient. The quote comes from Dr. Francis Weld Peabody from his 1927 essay entitled The Care of the Patient. Peabody was the son and grandson of Unitarian ministers. His grandfather was Francis Greenwood Peabody. No, his father was Francis Greenwood. His grandfather was Ephraim Peabody, the generation before, a good name, Ephraim. Francis Greenwood was the pastor of First Unitarian Cambridge, Massachusetts, and later dean of Harvard Divinity School, where he developed the Department of Social Ethics. According to Harvard's write-up, in his teaching, preaching, and writing, he portrayed a religious tradition that stressed members as agents of social change, de-emphasizing personal salvation in favor of social action. His father, Ephraim Peabody, had been minister of the famed King's Chapel in Boston. Before that, the elder Peabody had ministered in Cincinnati, my hometown. He was an early Unitarian missionary to what was then considered the West. And he was part of the movement of Western Unitarian Christianity toward transcendentalism and humanism. He was also a reluctant opponent of slavery who assisted fugitive slaves, including Frederick Douglass. But Ephraim Peabody believed essentially that the recolonization of Africa by former slaves was the solution to the nation's 19th century ills, rather than the freeing of American slaves to live as free people on this nation's soil. But we see the generations and the evolution of thought, and at the dawn of a new century, his son, Francis Greenwood, came to believe strongly in freedom for all and love of all human beings as foundational for his Unitarianism. The religion of the 20th century, Francis Greenwood wrote, must contemplate the world not as a chaos of competing atoms, but as an organic and invisible whole. It must socialize its hopes and save people, not singly, but together, the poor with the prosperous, the employed with the employer, the black with the white. Francis Greenwood Peabody believed we, all of us together, could change society, change the world, and make it a better place for all people. And his son, Francis Weld Peabody, the doctor of the quote on the wall, took his father's ethos to heart. One of the essential qualities of the clinician is interest in humanity. The secret of the care of others is to care for others, all others, embracing difference and distinctions of race, class, ability, gender, background, education, illness or health, ability to pay, appearance, you name it. It is not rocket science. It is not brain surgery. But it is hard. I think often we Unitarian Universalists throw out the first of our 7 shared principles, the commitment to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, as simple and easy. We just do that, right? But when we stop and think about it, saying yes to the worth and dignity of every human person, everyone, every human person, it's a radical statement. It's a challenge to what in many ways is instinctual to us as humans, to circle our wagons, to affirm and love and have compassion for those in our families, those we know, those who look like us, who live like us, who believe like us, who think like us, those we deem good. To broaden the circle so as to encompass the whole of humanity, to not only have interest in, but truly care for all human beings, let alone for all beings and for the earth herself, requires patience and perseverance. It requires flexing muscles we might not always use. It requires building new skills. It requires practice. And it requires a spiritual foundation that we are privileged to have in our religious tradition. It is a foundation that comes from many sources, one of them being humanism. The third Humanist Manifesto, penned in 2003, states that humanists are concerned for the well-being of all, and that humanists long for and strive toward a world of mutual care and concern. That the joining of individuality with interdependence enriches our lives, encourages us to enrich the lives of others, and aspires hopes of attaining peace, justice, and opportunity for all. I see this as a shift in humanist thought, a welcome one. Because the humanists of 1933 who wrote the first Humanist Manifesto were radical rejectors of the supernatural, of the divisive and dismissive nature of religion that focused solely on otherworldly salvation at the expense of the common good. While religion is still used today to divide and exclude, to separate and segregate, 21st century humanism need no longer focus on what we do not believe, nor on the rejection of what others do. Because the radicalism of today's humanism lies in our fundamental interest in humanity, in our commitment to this world that we share, in the vision of the world that we seek, in the yes we say to life and to love and to our fellow human beings in a world besieged by no's. No, not you. Or you either. No, you can't. No, you don't belong. No, it won't work. No, I don't have time. No, you can't come in. No, I can't possibly care for you. With the nose standing on our heads and tugging at our ears and pulling at our tails, we say yes. Yes to life. Yes to love. Yes to our neighbor. Yes to humanity. Yes to the earth. Yes to a deeper justice. Yes. 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 Humanism gives us the ethical, the moral, and yes, the spiritual foundation to replace the no's with yeses. But in order to do so, we have to let go of the urge to reject and defend and replace this urge instead with interest, with curiosity about and care for the other, with our commitment to create with others a better world, a brighter world, a kinder world, our hearts open to what might be when we join our hands with theirs. At Winship, I I practice every day the cultivation of compassion, of curiosity, of warm-hearted regard for those whose beliefs are different from my own. I'm not going to stand before you and tell you that this is easy. It requires patience and perseverance. It requires flexing muscles that I haven't always used. It requires building new skills, and slowly but surely, I am getting better at it. My job is not to judge or convince or dissuade or disavow. My job is to affirm, to accept, to sit with. My job is to welcome questions along with certainty, faith alongside doubt, fear in the exact same breath as courage. My job is to be open to the other, to attune to where they are, to provide some comfort in the midst of a nightmare, some solace in the midst of unspeakable suffering. And when I cannot do those things, my job is simply to be a witness, to hold pain, to acknowledge the reality of what is. And I'll tell you what, I cannot do my job with no. I can only do it with yes. Because in the Cancer Center, sometimes the golden present is all there is. And it awaits a response from my patients, from their families, from the hardworking staff who care for them, and from me. And we say yes. Yes to life in the face of death. Yes to strength in the face of pain. Yes to love in the face of loss. Together, we are building a new way forward, a way of affirmation and acceptance, acknowledgement and attunement, a celebration of difference and distinction, and a deep respect for the inherent worth and dignity of every human person, and for that which binds us all. In a world full of no's, may it be that each of us finds the courage to respond to life's call with a resounding yes. Let's do it again. Yes. We just may change the world. Amen.
So our final hymn this morning is number 1017 in what some call the teal hymnal, Building a New Way. And we're going to live out the theme of the song, the title of the song. We're going to do it in a new way, okay? But you've known us a long time. You can trust us. We're not going to let you get lost in this song. We're going to stick together. In between the verses, you're going to hear something that sounds a little kind of Motown sound that you'll recognize. And then I'll say, come on, we all sing together, okay? And we want to do a good job on this song because it's Maria's birthday.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I forgot to mention before, they reminded me, the songs we did are on our UUCA congregational CD that includes the quartet and the choir and the Love Supremes, and that's out in the bookstore. So, did I say everything I should?
Shades of gray.
Shades of Gray, yeah, so. So, please rise in body or in spirit, and let's do Building a New Way in a new way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way.
Wait for the Motown sound. Here we go.
We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed, jealousy. We are working to be free.
See, you've got it.
We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need.
Come on, they're getting jazzy with us. Come on.
Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
We're going back to the first verse.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way.
I'm going to repeat that last line.
We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way.
One more time.
We are building a new way.
Last time.
We are building a new way.
Sounds terrific. Thank you.
Thanks again to the Love Supremes, to Jeep, who turns on the microphone. So much to our musicians and our readers and our worship leaders. What a pleasure to be with you. If you haven't already, I invite you to link elbows or join hands for the benediction, which comes to us from the Reverend Leslie Takahashi Morris. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all we aspire to create, a deeper peace, a more embracing hope, a greater generosity of spirit, a deeper joy in this life we share. May it be so. May we make it so. Amen. Go in joy and love and peace.